Continue to move your life forward and to do it in a way that is really exquisite and to maintain your happiness as you achieve those things that society tells you really are the measure of success that really don't mean success at all. As you try to move your life forward, the most important thing is putting on your spiritual armor. That's what I call it. Attending to that emotional core of you every day. I write about this. I've written 3 books about it. It's why people invite me to speak, and sometimes I forget about it. About a year and a half ago, even though I say that I must do these things every day, the Essence Awards was upon me, the music festival, I produced both of those projects. And I began just leaping out of bed, giving myself away, Keith, giving myself to Essence, believing, and I think that I've always worked really, really hard at the magazine because I never really felt worthy. I mean, how does a sister from Harlem with a high school diploma and a commercial one at that end up leading this wonderful publication and being a senior person in the company? So I always felt that I had to work harder and longer than everyone else. And when we get busy, we know the first thing to go. The first things that go are the things that nourish us. And so I began leaping out of bed and into the world. And our president and co-founder, those of you who know Clarence Smith, he'd been on my case forever to take over the Internet operation. He said, we really need you to do this, Susan. We need you to do for the Internet what you've done with the Essence Awards, the music festival, the magazine. I said, I really can't do anymore. And Ed Clarence and I were away, Ed Lewis, co-founder, along with Clarence Smith. And we were walking a beach in Florida, and I said, guys, in order for me to do any more in the company, you really have to create another role for me. And they thought about it, and they said, we'll give you more staff. And I said, it's really not about more staff, it's a different role. And neither of them came back to me and said, this is really what we think you can do. I share this with you for one reason, not for you to run back and tell Ed and Clarence that I talked about them tonight, but to say that no matter where you find yourself in your work experience, no matter where you find yourself in your life, you hold the reins on your life in your hands. And what I did was I abdicated my authority. I asked them, Earl, what they would have in store for me, what they could create for me, rather than orchestrating it for myself. And neither of them got back to me and gave me any solution to the dilemma. And so Monique Greenwood, who was the executive editor at Essence, said that she was going to be moving on. And I thought, she's not getting out of here. This very brilliant woman who I had hired from another publication some years before, 4 years before. I went to Ed and Clarence and I said, I'm going to become publication director. I think that's the title that I want. And I'm going to promote Monique Greenwood to the editor-in-chief's position. I mean, and all around me there was chaos and confusion, and maybe you shouldn't do this, because it was at a time when Time Inc. was really looking at our business. And Time Inc. bought 49% of Essence. I'm really telling you all the truth tonight. And what I could have done was really compromised my own happiness. What was happening on a personal level was that I have loved my work at Essence for 31 years. And I was loving my work still, but I wasn't loving my life. And even though I was showing up for work every day, I mean, looking good, braids, neat, nails buffed, dressed, head to toe, wear size 11s, always beautiful shoes, hooked up. There was a smile that was pasted on my face because I was totally stressed out. And in the evenings, I would go home, and the tears would be rolling down my cheeks. I'm going through menopause. I didn't know what was going on. Couldn't remember a thing. Oh, I'm too old. I need to retire. I share this with you to say, not the month, not the week, but the day, even the moment, that I really got clarity about my life and what was right for me, what was right for me. And came to that resolve that this is what I was going to do, and this is what the rest of my career was going to be like at Essence. The moment that I got that clarity, the depression that I'd been spiraling into began to withdraw. Everything became new again. Everything became new again. What is so exquisite about life is that no matter how you mess up, no matter how off course you may be, no matter how frustrated you may feel, the moment that you change your mind about your own value, your own worth, and you understand that you really are more than you seem, that you're human and divine, whether you call that divinity Allah, God, Jehovah, Yahweh, divine order, the central intelligence in the universe that created you, there's an aspect of that within you. And you know what that means? It's like the first book of the Bible that tells us that we're made in the image and likeness of God. What that really means is that you have not only the ability, but the responsibility